The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. This game has been the topic of so many over the years for its suggested themes and deep lore rooted within its data. A personal favorite in the series, and I'd go a step further and say it's my favorite game of all time. Now, obviously, I got a bit of a Zelda issue to begin with. But this game means so much to me, actually, that I even got it tattooed on my chest. So, yeah. Before we dive into Ikana, we need to explain what this series is going to be about. It's autumn, and with that, I can't help but want to talk about Majora's Mask. This game in general makes me think of this season more than any other game, with its overall depressing vibe and sense of dread looming over the lands of Termina. I mean, it's in the name itself, Terminate. Many believe this game's overall theme to be the 5 stages of grief itself. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Denial in the form of the townspeople refusing to believe the giant rage-filled face moon will come crashing down on them. Anger in the form of the Deku King, blinded with rage and blaming his missing daughter on her friend Monkey. Darmina, the Goron bargaining to return to his life and continue forward. Lulu, the lead singer of the Indigo Goes, unable to speak from the depression of losing her eggs to the pirates. The last one being acceptance is a little questionable, being tied to the light arrows after having climbed Stone Tower, showing the light at the end of the tunnel. While many people believe the overall theme of grief represents Link himself having died, but that's where this series comes in. We're going to be focusing on only what is fact surrounding each location on Majora's Mask, starting with Ikana, along with the lore that is known about the Kingdom of the Damned. The example here is Link isn't dead. While the game might represent the 5 stages of death, it's not Link himself that has died. This has been confirmed by the game creator Eiji Aonuma, and the presence of the hero Shade and Twilight Princess as confirmed in the Hyrule Historia. The grief Link is feeling could be more related to the fact that he was looking for his lost friend Navi, and obviously, with his ultimate fate, never did let go of his search for his beloved friend. Wow, that's actually extremely sad. And with that, the tone has been set for this video. We wanted to focus on Link not being dead for a reason, because if it was true, it would mean that not only Ikana, but all of its history, matter of fact, nor would Termina altogether exist. And the idea of that is just as depressing as believing Link is dead. Now that we know Ikana matters, let's find out why that is. The Kingdom of Ikana is known by all as the land where only the dead roam, and is surrounded in mystery, with only few around the land to speak of what little is known about the downfall of this kingdom. Once and still ruled by the Ikana royal family and its king Igos Du Ikana, serving on his throne in Ikana Castle, even in death, along with his 2 most loyal guards that never did get named, with the Skull Kita guarding the royal family treasure at the Ikana graveyard. The history of this location is covered in blood. A war between Ikana and an unnamed group ultimately caused the overall death and destruction of this kingdom. The only other thing than fighting they was known for was a quote stating the Redeads of Ikana was once members of the castle's dancing group. Speaking of quotes from the Garo, they were believed to be the spies for the rivaling nation. To die, leaving corpses, was the law of the Garo as stated by their master. The Garo had such a bloodlust that it is believed they were the ones that created Stone Tower and all its blasphemous structures, mocking the gods. And when Tattle senses them, she says that she can only sense their thirst for blood looming around. Dampé goes to say that his father said Skull Kita was there guarding the royal treasure, making many believe that the war might have been to protect the treasures hidden within the graves of Ikana, and that's why the Stallchild still roam the graveyard at night, protecting the graves from the Garo, meaning even in death, the war yet still continues for them all, allowing them to never rest. The king would state that the conflicts among his men would play a great hand in the kingdom's defeat, the royal composers being a prime example, and with Flat having been sealed by his brother Sharp in the Ikana graveyard, with Flat saying his brother had sold his soul to the devil, with Sharp going on to say he dreamt of the rival of the royal family, leading us all to believe the Garo played a hand here in tricking the kingdom to turn on itself, causing a great weakness in their defenses. The curse over this land comes from Stone Tower, and its origins are not made clear, able to withstand an assault from the Ikana army, and this is where you can find the Garo Master, meaning if they wasn't the ones that built it, at some point or another, they had something to do with this blood-stained, cursed history. With the doors to Stone Tower having been sealed for many years, very little is known about its haunting walls. Residing beneath the tower's walls is Ikana Castle, now in ruin, a landmark of the restless spirits that still roam its halls. This is where Igo rests and his two most loyal guards. If Link is able to defeat them all in combat, the king will teach him the Eulogy of Emptiness, a song thought to be made by the composer brothers containing the power of a soldier who has no heart, assumingly made to confront the Garo. With the rivers having been dried up and Gyptos roaming the land, beneath its well where Poe and many other creatures of nightmares dwell to protect the Mirror Shield, which looks like a tormented soul screaming for help. This land still has so much unknown about it, and that's why it will always remain a topic among Zelda fans, and also one of the prime examples as to why this game means so much to so many of us. It's hard to think this much lore came out of a game Rush developed in a year's time. But maybe that's why. Without Nintendo being able to slow down and approve all the story elements, I believe Mr. Aonuma's mind was able to truly shine and show his true creative nature. And I do believe without this, we wouldn't have the game we have now with such an overwhelming sense of depression and personal meaning. There wasn't enough time to hold them back. Much like the theme of the game itself, there's just never enough time. And with that, we've taken enough of your time today. I would like to thank you all for joining us, and we will be making more of these throughout the season, so please look forward to what else we have to say on this masterpiece. Till then guys, this has been Weekend Moblin saying, stay tuned till next time.